Hi, I'm Jake Dennison with Dodger Media Online.
I'm Lex Peterson with Dodger Media Online.
For our first question, what is the significance of Tuesdays for the Dodgers?
Well, during the regular season, we have our dual meets on Tuesdays. We also have the conference championship and county championship on Tuesdays. And during the summer, we work out on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays are a pretty big day for us. And as Dodgers, on Tuesdays, going to compete and represent our school. That's why Tuesdays are for the Dodgers.
Throughout the season, what does a normal day of practice look like for you guys?
Practice starts at 3, and then Monaco usually gives a long speech, it's Coach D as well, and they kind of send us out on our run. Then we come back, we usually stretch as a team. We'll do core or bands depending on what's assigned that day, and that's pretty much it. We'll just chat, we stretch, yeah, and then we'll chat on our runs.
With such an individual sport, how do you guys maintain team chemistry?
We spend a lot of time as a team, and before the races, we warm up together, we race together, we score points together. So we really are a team, and cross country is a team sport at its core. And we spend all our time together at practices, and I think we're all pretty good friends.
We also try and make an emphasis that we're all working together and that we're all doing it for each other. And before meets, we'll go and we'll talk over our plan as a team and our plan as individuals, and how we can go and help all of each other achieve a strong performance, because we're all racing for each other at the end of the day.
This question is for Leo. What goals do you have for yourself this season, and how do you plan to achieve them?
I was injured during the spring and during the winter, so my big goal this season has been to get back to racing, get back to training at a high level, and just to be able to contribute for the team, get into that top 5 scoring position, and be able to help the team in the championships and when they need it. So in order to achieve that, I've been doing a lot of training outside of running. I've been doing a lot of cross training either in the pool or on the rowing machine, and then just making sure I'm really focusing on like nutrition and recovery and hydration and all the other parts that go into running to stay as healthy as I can.
For the next question, how does the partnership with the bar method help your guys' training?
BAR was created by physical therapists. So basically it's all about like strengthening and kind of like stretching your muscles and really working towards working smaller muscles in your body that you're not necessarily accessing every single day with those larger movements that you're doing. So it really helps us like just in our like daily runs and like getting stronger and stretching more.
How do the coaches at Madison influence your running career?
I've had a great experience with them. I've basically come from, we've basically come from nothing. We've been built up by the coaches. They've done a really good job with everyone here. And just in general, they're really good leaders. They help us with their strategy. They've both run in college, so they know what it's like to be runners. Other than that?
Yeah, the coaches do a lot of stuff outside of just writing training plans. They're good motivators, Coach D especially. And they also work to help build that team chemistry, build that bond, make sure that, we are teammates and runners together, not just individuals, as well as helping us, get into shape and learn how to race and be ready for race day.
Jake, this question's for you. How many miles do you run each week?
It'll be dependent on the week. Usually in the summer I'll hit closer to 50. I've hit 45 the last 2 weeks each. I've been a bit sick, so sometimes the mileage has to come down for that just to make sure I'm healthy.
For you guys that run in different seasons, how does that affect what goes into the sport?
Well, Jake and I both train year-round with track and cross country, and it's really a cumulative thing, is building that fitness. So if you take multiple months off, you get out of shape, your body isn't used to it. So being able to just stack season on top of season is really helpful for just building long-term fitness and making sure that going into the next season, you're at a place where you are fitter than when you came into the season before. It also keeps you, sharp and ready because you're used to racing, you're used to pushing yourself, you're used to, doing all the other things outside of practice, sleeping and eating right. So it really just helps build consistency and build long-term fitness.
And, can I go? And Clotilde and I both do swim team and spring track. So during the winter, we make like a conscious effort, I would say, to continue our running. And because we're running during spring, summer, and fall, we have to be extra conscious about maintaining our health and staying out of injuries.
Macy, this question's for you. What's your favorite memory with the cross country team?
I would say that my favorite memory is definitely cross country camp because we get to spend time with the entire team in a really crowded house in Vermont. And yeah, it's just a ton of fun.
Jill, this is for you. How do you plan on staying in shape with your injury?
So my injury is really complicated. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to run this season at all. I did fracture my foot, like my ankle, so it is like pretty serious. I do have to like be in like pretty serious, like I have to be in a boot. So I'm hoping, I'm gonna try and cross train and I'm hoping I'll be able to come back in about 3 weeks, but it's really a lot of question marks for me right now.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so like when you guys are in a race, what goes on through your head? Do you guys like sing songs or like talk to yourself while racing?
For me, in the beginning, I tend to, I might like have a song in my head or just be looking around. But after, at least for cross country, after like a mile and a half, you get to a point where it's hurting enough that your brain, I personally just kind of like go numb. I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just kind of thinking about like taking one more step and continuing on and not slowing down. So yeah, it's a bit of like an out of body experience. You're not really thinking, you're just kind of trying to move forward as fast as possible.
I normally start with a song in my head, and then I just try to talk myself through it and remind myself that my teammates are in pain at the same time as me and that we're all working together.
Of the hardest courses in the state, and some argue that in the nation. How does that affect you mentally going into each race?
I think it's tough. I mean, we're lucky enough that we get to race at Greystone, which is our main course pretty often. But it is hard. Like Homedale, which is where we race, it's down more by the shore, is like kind of infamous for being pretty hard. But I think kind of telling yourself that it's hard is like you have to kind of try and hype yourself up, not really try and tear yourself down. So I think that trying to be positive going into races, because it's not necessarily about the course itself. It's more about like the work you're putting into it and your mindset going in.
The two courses are also very different. Greystone is a very fast course in the first half, so you gotta mentally everyone's trying to get out fast before it all comes down. Whereas Homedale, you go out slow. It's very hilly the first 2 miles, and you finish fast. So we're not necessarily. Some of us aren't used to that on this team. Some of us don't operate like that. But part of it is that we tell ourselves that it is that much harder when it really isn't. And sometimes we get in our own heads and it just doesn't work out.
I think there is an advantage, though, to racing both our regular season course and our champion season course being very difficult, because it gives us it can give us a bit of a mental edge knowing that we've done really hard things going into championship season and raced and succeeded in a difficult situation where other teams might not have that advantage. So we're used to the tough hills, we're used to the hard last mile, we're used to the difficult terrain. Which kind of can give us that, that edge over competitors come championships.
What do you guys eat before your races?
I know Macy does the same thing. I like to eat like a piece of toast with peanut butter and then I chop bananas on it. I'm not a huge eater before I race. I know the boys eat more, but like most girls don't eat that much.
Yeah, I will normally have some type of caffeine, normally a coffee, maybe an iced tea, and then I like having like a granola bar or a PB&J or a banana or something that has a lot of carbs in it and isn't like heavy on your stomach. It isn't very fatty or a lot of dairy in it.
For me, it's just whatever I know won't come back up.